I'm happy to see other old white guys, especially if they're in the cockpit. I don't want to look in there and see women unless they're bringing the pilot's coffee. I know. And
Hurricanes get off to a good start as they win the
first
opening
class
faceoff.
anyway. The frickin' cat's a soul plane.
The Oilers gain control of the puck against the wall.
Now, the first thing that struck me about this story is how old it seems. It's like 2018 all over again. We're all supposed to treat this like more proof of rampant racism. It just feels like a joke and an obvious lie. Who knows? Maybe the captain told Gabriella Arifa Johnson she had to move so they could balance the plane for takeoff. I mean, no offense, but I thought she was the second place finisher in a Refrigerator Perry lookalike contest.
Listen, coach is going to love that one. I expect to see him out here again.
Here's how she described the terrifying ordeal. Well, I just downgraded myself from first to business class on my flight to Milan. In a cabin of 6, 5 of the passengers were white middle-aged men. Then there was me, a 30-something black woman. So she went back to business class as an old white guy. What a brave sacrifice. I get it, in business class, they don't serve nearly as much ice cream. She's like Rosa Parks, more like Rosa Parks. She's probably standing by the phone waiting for a call from the Pope. Even better, Oprah. So I'm moving from first class to business class to get away from middle-aged white guys. That's like moving from New York City to Miami to get away from Jews. Worse, well, male flight attendant who thought I'd be okay with substandard service and persistent microaggression. I would sacrifice physical comfort to protect my emotional and mental well-being any day. For substandard service? What, was the whole fist he was throwing into her mouth missing the target? Sitting in the best seats on a plane and to the lawn is now framed as oppression. She thinks she's Harriet Tubman, but she's really Harriet. I can't fit into the tub, man.
Streaking through center, they go on the attack.
It isn't just fake, it's also ancient, and we see it for what it is, a cover for race, hustling privilege. You're not a creep, you're just an asshole. How else could someone turn extra leg room and champagne into a civil rights documentary? What's the aggression? They didn't thank her for not sitting on them? It's not the first time she's done this. Back in 2023, she left Vogue after ranting about Israeli genocide just days after the October 7th attack. She split as a function of solidarity. Though we know her last action of solidarity was opening a McDonald's app on her phone. But really, it means that she sucked at her job and she needed a bolt before they canned her. We've seen this before. Kathy Griffin, John Lennon, Joy Reid, a roadster using victimhood to cover for their failures. And she was the first black woman to style Vogue's cover. Big deal. She went to boarding school, then a top college, and now she's sitting in first class. A privilege most Americans work their lives for. It is amazing to watch what 60 years of progressive media, academia, and the Democrat Party have done to some people's minds. Even more, it tells you that those 6 decades didn't progress anything. So it's rooted in victimhood, even first class won't be enough. She wants a section for black women who think decent people being nice to her is racist. So sooner or later, someone might start wondering, what are you even good at? She thought she was Rosa Parks heading back to the back of the bus. So maybe in this case, it's a short bus. About this, I don't think I did first class till I was like 4. Yes, what do you think? This is the most made-up story ever, and I'm only doing it to point out how what's the word? And
Finish
this thing,
well throughout this game so
yeah.
far, James. I mean,
Everybody
they've had
will move on.
multiple
I think we also do it
opportunities to
because they
score,
want to
and
prove that
finally they
it's
get one. I
impossible
think they
for
can take
Red
a
Belt to
deep
run out of fat
sigh
chips.
of
Yes,
relief
that's true.
and get going.
There's like a supply of them.
Nick DiPaolo worked really hard on that hot rod.
Great move to sidestep the
They
chip.
get Harriet too
The
big to put in
Hurricanes
the
gain
tub.
possession.
Nance,
Great.
yeah,
Good
good.
issue right there. So,
Feeling the morning.
Into the
Into the offense again now.
I also kind of wonder if she's not
There's a
talking
shot.
about a lot of
Great
things.
glove save
And
by
the big lie
Anderson.
is, in the article, she
Reaction
says
time is everything
that
when you're a
I
goaltender,
often
and that's
fly
why you
in this
see from a
cabin.
young age been
If you
working
fly
on
well
all
in
of
first
those
class, I don't
different
think that's
drills
what
to
you
help
said.
them with these
Yeah.
But
kinds
anyway,
of
I
saves.
often
Just
fly.
flash the
I think she's
leather
never flown
and
in
make
first
the
class.
save.
I think
What
it's
a
her
glove
first time,
hand.
and she was intimidated. And she walked in there, and then was freaked out by it because this was what she, and again, as you point out, you're in your 30s, and most people are thinking,
Going to Milan.
and then,
Business class to Milan is no like.
and then
What's
I
wrong?
The
forget what
Hurricanes
line
are
it
across the
was
line
where
and
she
into the
said,
offensive
and
end.
I don't suffer
And now
food.
it's grabbed by Hall. Spectacular stop by the goaltender.
Yeah,
How did he
that's
hang on
our
to that?
job when we run
I
into
really
her.
like this save, James, because he...
Johnny Summers. That's a difficult name.
It's hard.
Summers.
Summers is hard.
I did say expecting.
I'm kidding this. I fox.
recognition of the seam and be able to hit it perfectly. That's a great
Yeah.
stretch pass to someone
Thank
speed
you.
and it winds up in the back of
Yeah,
the
it's
net.
a boy. Come on.
I like the It's so true. That's the way we do things around here. So if you were in first class, you do fly first class, I would assume.
Yeah, sometimes when I don't feel very Chinese, I do. She's not Rosa Parks. She's Rosa Center. That's what she's wanting for attention. If it's a box in the sky, it's probably spirits. Everyone is sexist anyway. Good night.
Yeah.
You guys can see in the article that she invented code as editor at large. I think that's what they used to call her back. She's not angry about the killing of the team, but God, this is bad. You guys call me fat on editor at large.
Yes.
And that's what she thought.
And now he tries to get it across to Stahl.
Should she be commended for her bravery?
They take control of it.
Coming out and standing this.
Listen, things have changed though, because if this would have happened in 2018,
Quick shot.
I think she would be a lot more, probably.
Yeah.
We didn't really know. She just said there were microaggressions. We didn't get any details on what those were or anything like that.
I think what he's trying to do here, James, he wants to separate the body from puck, and that's exactly what you gotta do. You gotta play with a competitive edge
Because
and an
if
intensity.
she left that seat, someone got upgraded, and they're probably like, I want the champagne.
It's very Columbo.
That's
It's like,
They'd love to build on it.
hey, that's another old white guy.
Edmonton's going to start with the puck inside the
Proceed
offensive
to
zone.
another minority.
I mean, there are a lot of old white guys in first class. It's like first class a lot. There weren't old white guys there, but and then there was like, hey, Cat.
That is your band.
Yeah, I'm not going to disparage old white men. It's so real.
Loses possession after he takes a little hit. The Oilers play it along the wing.
Why is it like this?
It's so much easier when you're running in the game and you're he's chasing, and that's exactly what
You look like a horse, like she left.
BC players working on this all the time in practice. Real
I
tight
only
to
said
the
that
net,
once.
just like really shut. It's got
She
you on
did
the
say
stick
the
and off the
word
stick.
Sean is that she used the word microaggression, which it's like it is such. It's almost like a 2015 word. It's the only thing in her life that's microaggression.
The person I want to hear from is not to proceed. Did she have to sit next to her? Did she move back to business class? Like, I do. Who deserved that? Let's talk about reparations and let's talk about restoring that guy.
There needs to be reparations for obnoxiousness, but also if you're flying international on business, it's not a big difference. I mean, there's probably nobody sitting next to her in business either.
Yeah, I would, I'm just a poor common journo flying to coach every year.
Anderson's been off his game
That's good
tonight,
for
really
you.
looking
That's good for
uncomfortable between the legs, and he needs to settle in and find a way to create some momentum
fly
for his
a
team.
first
But on
class
the
a lot?
other side of the puck,
No,
I mean,
I
the forwards
use
have to
management
contribute
when I fly first class.
offensively, and
I'm
they
very
can only do
Chinese.
that
Yes,
if there's
yeah.
a sense of urgency to
Chinese
their
don't like
game.
first class?
Oh, wait, I think it's free.
Yes. who doesn't?
If I can fly, I don't care. I'll sit alone in first class.
That's an absolutely massive
Really
hit,
good in the
James.
back.
These are the types of hits that can change the landscape of the game.
You know what? I prefer to fly first class with hungry children in the back. That makes me feel good. What's your problem? At least I'm honest. All right, up next, the Minnesota Mets.
Absolutely dominated here. Look at the scoreboard. They've dominated in shots as well here late in the
If
second.
you'll be in the New York area and would like tickets to see a story in 5 words.
40 minutes to play in the books. Both teams will get one last chance to
UTF
catch their breath.
is up
And then it's on to
with
period
Minnesota.
number 3.
Sean, Fox reported on the skyrocketing amount of money that Minnesota is spending on autism care. Since Tim Walz got into the governorship, it's increased 34,000% in just a few years. 2017, autism treatment, they spent like under $2 million. 2024, $350 million paid out for this treatment. This is not insane.
Well, at least it's fixed autism. It's not a problem. We have that going for us.
And what's crazy is so much of it is going to random Somalis in Minneapolis. And it actually makes me feel good because I know that they had a number cruncher back there. Yeah, looking at the spreadsheets, punching the data, it's like, this is the group above all others the best care for autistic kids. It has nothing to do with the fact that they vote entirely for Democrat and came up. Yeah. No, that's just a coincidence. Yeah, how dare you question that?
What I love about the sequence of saves is no.
How is Walz still allowed to be in office when this is happening? It's really getting it into office. It's amazing because if you see to look at every federal program and every state program now, it seems to exist entirely to root taxpayers and give it to some sort of favored political constituency. I think the only group not getting money, Charlie, is middle-aged white people. Yeah. Charlie, and not me, because you don't consider me middle-aged or senior. I'm 122 to you now. You guys suck. Zhao Ying, I'm going to play you a clip of Governor Walz. He spoke about this fraud recently. Watch it. You've been very candid. Don't be trying to solve this. This information doesn't help us fix fraud. You can trust me on this. The person who's angriest about this fraud is me. There's certainly no political insight into fraud in the state, and it undermines the very program that I have spent a lifetime advocating for and trying to implement, and we have gotten criminals. Isn't it great, Zhao Ying, how he is really angry about his own failures?
He is. He's speaking the language of the autism people. He's spent a lot of time on autism. The autism is actually his dad.
He gets to position so quick. He's athletic and he makes a huge save.
Lady autism, but now a transition. This is doing that since too.
What do you think? What do you think his money's actually going?
I think it's fishing and hunting. I think so. He loves fish.
He loves the fish. That is true. That is true. And what's Campbell's dad? You know? Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, they do exactly what they say. You look at it, you know, it's right on the can. They come in cans, right?
Locks them up on the drive.
I've never been closer than this to a woman.
Nugent Hopkins carries the puck in his own zone.
So anyway, something you might totally understand, this Somali truck driver was recently caught driving a semi-truck. That's not a full truck, a semi. The wrong way for miles on a highway in Missouri. And get this, after stopping, authorities found out that he has a Minnesota commercial driver's license. And he couldn't read basic road signs and failed the English proficiency test, something that Zhao Ying can understand.
I feel like he probably was trying to drive a 20-ton of grocery back to Somalia.
That's Dad, what is wrong with Minnesota? It's like every day.
Yeah, listen, I haven't driven in a very long time.
That is true.
But I feel like being able to read the sign is an important part of that.
Yes.
I am against most government regulations, most government involvement. I do feel like they shouldn't just give you a semi-truck.
probably really hard on gun control.
Goaltender
Yeah, you can't get a
covers
shot.
the lead,
Here's a
and the slow
42
pace down.
goal.
Slavin's been struggling to put up some numbers, and it can be frustrating to head into a pointless streak and continue. When that happens, you start to get down on yourself. It can really affect your confidence. You got to focus on the little things and try and
It's
keep good
important to have
habits.
that a little bit regular.
Piece of it
Yeah,
to make the save.
For a while, Charlie, you should treat Minnesota like a restaurant that gets a really bad rating, close it down, start over, get a new chef. And I mean, there's so many things. It's not the customer's fault. It's the people running it.
Store,
All the
windows, and walk in, so you have. Yeah, no, apparently it is the special needs capital of the world.
Yeah.
And what's really amazing about it is that even though Tim Walsh has managed to pay all this money, pay off all these people for no vote, he still can't run for re-election in his own state.
Yeah.
And he was the standard bearer just a year ago for the party, or a year and a half ago for the party, which I think is pretty indicative of something. But the other thing is, like, you know,
You got one with what you were saying.
I was totally. Because I actually only have one thing I want to say about this.
Yes.
And that is the guy driving the wrong way on the highway. This just proves that road signs are irrelevant today. You don't need road signs. Really, they're the middle of the highway. Everybody knows where they're
It's the very liberal.
maybe it is libertarian. Maybe it is that. You need to take
Well,
all
what's the
the
saying these
freaking
days? Real
road signs
recognizes
out.
real. Fans on their feet here in
Stop
the
signs.
final
Except for
seconds
stop signs.
to
Yeah,
salute an incredible performance by the home team.
Speed limit maybe, but you don't really get to that. So, signs.